All right. And welcome to the latest episode of The Altar, where again, I've got Yimra, I've got Ben, the two sexiest anarchists in the universe, but not me. I'm not sexy. I look like shit today. Anyways, watching this. This is gonna be a quick episode because we gotta make it quick because I was late today. Naturally, always late, always something, right? I want to test out my new Wi-Fi adapter that I got, and I can't even do that because I don't want to risk it. I
Right.
don't want to risk it
At this
today.
point, we're already in.
We
So
don't
a
even have
nice
a guest to fill it up either for when you're gone
yeah.
for 40
Oh,
minutes.
jeez.
Yeah. Yimmer, just use your split twink personality. Otter personality. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Freudian slip. I believe you're actually a twink.
One's a twink, one's an otter.
Yeah. The duality of man.
The Jekyll and Hyde story.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
I think we're out to it. Why even talk about it? It'll just bullshit for 30 minutes.
Fuck
Don't
it,
talk
yeah.
about anything. Yeah, right.
This is a filler episode, folks. Hope you all are ready for some fucking filler.
Well, in that case, let's get the one podcast question I got, which I'm going to attempt this show without showing any other anonymous messages because I have like way too many that I try to hide for good reason. So I know this is backwards, but attempt to whoever's watching.
Just read it. Just read it.
I know, just to show that it exists. Podcast question. Who has the girthiest cock? My money is on the order of Matt, Yimra, and then handsome Jewish man.
All right. Well, I've got my tape measure. Yimra, let me see your butt cheeks real quick.
Wait, butt cheeks? Hey, pause?
Pause real quick.
I would this reductively?
Think, I don't know. I think without comparing right now for a live stream, I would think that Yimra's got the meatiest, the girthiest, right?
To scale.
And then Ben's number 2, and then I got to be number 3 on that list because I'm 5'8". I feel like mine's is pretty girthy, you know. To get a little personal, my wife doesn't complain. It does the job done, so I think it's girthy enough. But is it the girthiest? I doubt it. I don't think so.
At least from my history, I've had a few complaints. Not in the oh, it's too small. It's hey, hold on, slow down. That's a big load, and this is a small highway. And I'm just like, hey, this is just me. So that's where I'm at. And also, I am not going to name drop anybody out of respect, but I'm sure there are a few listeners who
you can say Yimra.
I'm not. All right, Yimra, obviously.
Well, that doesn't count.
A few people who are listening have seen it in my slutty past. So,
or tasted it.
Or no, actually,
that's no fun.
Yeah, what was that like? I mean, we can touch on like I heard that like pre me getting on Tumblr, a lot of the anarchists were like banging each other. I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, dude, it was like fucking Woodstock without the LSD. It was bad.
Terrible. All right, so let's do a quick. I was like, what topics? As I was racing in today, I'm like, what topics I want to talk about today? With literally no research except I read one article on it. Actually read the article, not the headline. Is the anti-LGBTQ bills that were passed in Arkansas and Tennessee was the other one, right? So the headline is that these states passed legislation that will it will disproportionately affect like LGBTQ. Like it basically was like an attack on LGBT. And then if you read the articles, they say it allows physicians to not perform like non-emergency procedures, right, for religious or moral reasons, which obviously you could take that as like if a religious person doesn't like, gay people, they don't have to, whatever. Like I don't need to see you or something. I don't need the money, for example. That's basically what it is. Or it could be like, hey, you don't have to perform an abortion for religious reasons or moral reasons, right? Like, so it's more like that. So it's more from a libertarian anarchist standpoint. Hey, that's actually good. Allow that for like market reasons. And people will naturally say like, well, what if you live in a small town and you want to get an abortion? Why don't you fucking pick up your bootstraps and leave, dumbass? I'm just kidding. But I mean, it's an incentive to leave. I know it's expensive to move and all that, but you probably don't want to be living in an area that isn't ideologically in line with you.
Well, you know what is cheaper than moving? Wearing a fucking condom. That's very cheap.
Or pulling out.
That's free. That's just timing.
Yeah, just timing. Well, what about the pre-cum, Matt? What? Who's pre-cum? Who's pre-cumming? I just all nut or nothing.
Seriously.
Nothing but nut.
Also, it kind of sucks for the person dealing with it, but also, do you want to really deal with a doctor who has to do a thing that they don't agree with?
Yeah.
I mean, a doctor should be professional and follow whatever the fuck it's called, the hippo oath. I don't remember what it's called. I'm fucked up right now.
What do you think the Hippocratic Oath is?
Basically, not to do harm to the person and to do stuff morally wrong. I'm super fucked up right now, so my brain process is terrible.
Right. No, what the Hippocratic Oath is basically just in like a standard. If you were to read whatever, it's not legally binding. FYI.
No.
Start with that. Yeah.
It's basically like a pledge you have. It's like when you pledge.
It's
in the
more
military,
like a guideline.
It's like when you pledge in the army. It's just basically like, I won't commit war crimes. Wink.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because the Hippocratic Oath, in very broad brush, is that if they do decide to treat you, they are going to do the best of their abilities to not harm you, essentially, and other things, right? But it's basically like, if I choose to treat you, I will do it. I will use the best of my abilities to make sure that you get the best care, and I don't I won't intentionally try to kill you. That's it. It's not legally binding. There's all like malpractice insurance and all that, where like, if something happens, yada yada. But people like to use the Hippocratic Oath like, well, they're supposed to, the doctors legally have to provide services to people. Like, no, they don't.
No, it's just an oath that you should follow.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you don't follow, you're kind of a cunt.
It's a guideline.
It's more like a guideline.
And why do people would follow that without the oath? And why is that?
Because why else would you become a doctor, bro?
Yeah, it's hard to get money if your patients are fucking dying, right? So like, and that's the thing.
Not dead. They can be dying. They just can't be dead.
But no, you can just kill them and then just charge their corpse extra money, and their corpse has to pay because they're charging the extra money, so they'll get the money. So then you're just stuck. Even if you die, you have to pay.
Who sounds like this, though? Let's be honest.
Oh, we know who sounds like this.
Who sounds Anton like Chigurh?
Sure, yes.
Huh?
No, I said Anton Chigurh. Call it. Call it by my name.
Anton Chigurh just chills at that lunch table in the cafeteria.
I shared the article or the head. I'm hoping this won't brick my internet when I go to enter this, so bear with me.
Moment of truth.
Every time we click a link. Yeah. Well, like the last episode is I'd fucking done what was it? Where I made Craig leave and it crippled my internet for like 10-15 minutes. Excellent. So the article I shared, the headline was Arkansas governor signs bill allowing medical workers to refuse treatment to LGBTQ people. And I shared that with the comment extremely based, because recently I've just been sharing articles calling it based for whatever reason. So obviously people are going to look at that and say extremely based, and I think that it's cool that you should that people are allowed to refuse treatment to LGBTQ. If you know me, you know that's the headline is not the reason I'm saying that. It's because I am about freedom, and I want you to not go to shitty fucking doctors, right? If you believe they're a shitty doctor, don't fucking go to them. Like as Yimro had said, why would you want to go to a doctor that's forced to treat you and doesn't like you? At that point, you're just giving them money someone hates you. Yeah.
This would probably, if anything, bolster like LGBT spaces for like medical shit in those areas. Like, oh, we're LGBT friendly hospital, all that good stuff. Bro, I am fucked up right now.
Yeah.
It's like DoorDash, you get that little notification. This hospital is pro LGBT.
And I can go in there.
Run by women.
And I can get my dick sucked by the male practitioner nurse, who's like super jacked up.
That's the other cure for COVID they don't want you to know about.
Getting my dick sucked.
Fucking sloppy in the ER.
Yeah. What was Dave Chappelle's joke about Michael Jackson? It's like, it was Michael Jackson's come actually a cure for cancer. It's like, I thought you were gonna die. The same.
I didn't see that one.
I butchered it. No, he's talking about like how like the kids are like, oh yeah, I like cuddled with Michael Jackson and stuff. And it's like, kid, I thought you had cancer. You're supposed to be dead by now. And then he like made the joke, like, would it be messed up if Michael Jackson's cum cured cancer?
That's fucking awful.
Like, oh, It's fucking awful. So like, and I'm gonna really
now,
like this. Oh yeah, I think he was dead at the time. I don't know if he was dead at the time Dave Chappelle made that comment.
No, I don't mean funny. Like it's not here. It's not terrible because he's not here to defend himself. It's terrible because he's dead and we can't get the fucking cure all come anymore. Like cure. It's gone.
the cure all come. What a sentence. Oh my god.
We're just gonna need a nice young twink named Yimra to come up and cure cancer. One cum shot at a time.
Hey, how you doing?
But like, what I like about this short episode is that I'm sure someone is going to listen and get mad regardless. So that at some point the one point we don't bring up about the LGBTQ barbecue.png people. Like, well, what about this specific scenario? I'm like, there's Occam's razor.
Occam's razor.
Yeah, the simple solution answer is usually the correct one. Don't fucking go to that doctor. Well, that's the only doctor. Well, you should probably start moving.
The one thing too with these bills is like it's not so much like LGBTQ plus as like the whole R2D2 as like the whole fucking focus. It's specifically doctors who want to like be able to say, hey, I don't want to put your child on puberty blockers, or I don't want to do gender transition surgery on your 8-year-old. Basically, it's protecting them from fucking lawsuits. If the parents are like, well, I want you to cut my son's dick off. You have to do it. You have to. And it's just like, no.
In my head, I have the image of like, you know, when you have like Play-Doh when you're a kid and you may like use a scissor and how it just kind of like satisfyingly cut. I'm like, what about that before my pangus? Like, if I was on nothing but like the hardest painkillers in the world, you just snipped it. There's probably like a 10-second window where it probably felt awesome. And 10 seconds after, it's shearing hot pain.
Probably.
Are you high right now?
I am absolutely fucking shot right now, bro.
Okay, yeah, because I'm like, what is going on?
We're beyond high. I've seen flasks.
We're beyond high right now.
There's like an IV we're not seeing off to the side.
It's in my spine right now. I'm doing a spinal tap, but it's just pure grain alcohol.
Oh my god.
Bro, my scalp feels
Jesus.
It's awesome. Well,
maybe this is good. This is a short episode. You're gonna need a
nap right
after this.
Nap, no, bro. I got 2 McDonald's like cinnamon bun things I got last night, and I put them in the fridge. I'm gonna microwave those little fuckers.
And fuck them.
And then I'm gonna just. What do you think the fucking?
Oh, they didn't come with icing. Don't worry about it. I got my own.
Oh, so the other thing was going on today this morning. I thought was funny is that libertarians are trending on Twitter for some reason. So speaking of, like,
I'm sure that's good. They're usually the butt of like jokes.
Oh, it was about what started it? Because like the Libertarian Party of Kentucky tweeted something. I don't know. It was some World War II reference or whatever. Like they're making some reference to like the comparison to the COVID. I don't think it was a bad reference, but I didn't care enough to actually read the whole thing. I was just reading what the people's comments were around everything. And some actor dude had replied to it, like all mad, saying something along the lines of like, there you go, like the libertarians are just making themselves like look like showing how fucking stupid they are, like in using swears. This dude was like pissed. He's like, good thing you guys don't have any power. And I replied to it, I'm like, imagine being so mad at people who don't have power that you feel the need to tweet about it. Focus that energy on the people who do have power doing bad shit, like what's going on in Arkansas that I'm sure you don't like, you fucking moron. Like, it's to me, if you have problems, like, that's why I don't really rag on ANCOMs too much, like, because I don't give a shit. And because also they're not in power, right? Like, and I don't give a shit about right anarchists I disagree with or whatever, or libertarians, because they don't have any fucking power. They're not doing anything. You're gonna hear me most of the time. They just
make really annoying posts and 18 paragraphs that I have to skip by on a weekly basis.
Yeah, that's why I like browsing Tumblr on the PC, because I just hit J and go.
Oh, I just my finger's got the power, bro. I can pass right by.
My finger's got I bet your finger's got plenty of power. Yeah. So that's the weird thing. It's like, if you're so angry, just shut up. There's nothing. What's you telling the libertarians that they're stupid for gonna do? Nothing. They're just gonna laugh like, yeah, we don't have power, and you're letting people do that are doing worse in power. So joke's on you. Just shut up. Is how I see it.
There's legitimately horrible injustices happening every day, and your main focus is a bunch of fucking douchebags on the internet making what I can only imagine is a half-assed claim about the Second World War, which a bunch of history nerds are going to be fucking annoying about for the next week and a half.
Well, actually,
the Sherman model had a better. And then you got to hear someone complain about a tank that no one's ever driven since 1983.
What's funny to me is I bet the libertarians, like, it's like the joke is like the libertarians are just talking about, like, hey man, just like the Constitution, just do this time it'll work. Don't worry about it. We just need the right people involved, and we'll have the perfect limited government in on all 50 states in the federal level. Just that simple. Because the Constitution has never been tried before, right, guys?
Not a true Constitution, nope.
Yeah,
it was tried for like 2 minutes, and George Washington had the Whisper Rebellion. Immediately, that was the first sign.
He was like,
"Fuck!" the ink wasn't even dry, right?
Homeboy was really like, "Yeah, I believe in gun rights, just not for my slaves." Which is why I'm getting more pissed off just seeing people reference the Second Amendment. And I'm just like, no, the Second Amendment's very good, but those motherfuckers didn't let their slaves have guns, right? There's a little bit of irony in there, isn't there?
There's even more irony if you consider that the NRA was founded by Republicans attempting to arm freed blacks who were trying to basically arm themselves to protect themselves against, at the time, Democrats. So,
And how far the NRA has fallen.
Yeah,
Pieces
right.
of shit.
Seriously.
Because that was the what the fuck was that? I completely forgot my point of the like libertarian mess. Oh yeah, so like guys, I want to like talk about like how libertarians are like actual libertarians are better when the Constitution and stuff. But you got the same like Republicans talk about like who tried the Constitution, like Rand Paul, Republican. He's not a libertarian. Anyone who thinks that is stupid. He's literally a conservative.
Big Al.
That's it.
The only difference is he's not as cringy of a conservative as someone like Ted Cruz with his.
Here's my maybe controversial opinion is that almost every Republican in the House and Senate and then presidents obviously are not actually conservatives. It's just a name they throw on themselves because it sounds good or something. They're not conservatives. The only conservatives are Rand Paul, like Tom Massey, and maybe like what's his stupid face, Justin Amash, right? Those guys are like actually conservative, like they want to conserve and stuff like that. Like Thomas Massey was probably one of the only few people that didn't vote on this, like voted against the stimulus, at least initially. I don't know what he did on this last one, because those are actually like the small government guys. You've got 3 small government guys in there. No, 2 now. Amash is out. I'm sorry. You've got actually 2 small government. Everyone else is doing everything that is the opposite of small government. So don't call them conservatives if they're not trying to like limit government power. You fucking idiot. You get that shit all the time. Yeah, it's gonna work. It'll work this time. Don't worry about it. But yeah.
Well, listen. What if we just get a bunch of chimpanzees together, and we gather them in a room, and they form a government and tell us what to do? How would that work? Jamie, pull that up.
Oh, my internet bricked. Sorry, I'm out.
If you reference that bald steroid using fuck one more time, I'm going to cry in the shower.
Who, Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan, I forgot his name.
I forgot his name. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Goldfinger. Who are we talking about?
Oh, and I like what was the other thing with the libertarians? It's like I also made my own tweet that I'm like, libertarians need to be trending into anarchy, right? And that's just like all libertarians need to just, if you're a real libertarian, it's just be an anarchist already. It's super simple. And
it's the logical conclusion, actually.
It's a logical conclusion to any anarchy. You can go from a right lib to a left communist. I don't care. Just get down here already.
Like, get down in the dirt and the mud with the rest of us, you fucking cocksucker.
Bottom unity.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Whoa.
Hey, yo, pause. Hey, yo, pause.
Hey, yo, pause.
Hold up.
Hey, yo, watch the jet.
Yeah, but I had one friend respond to that tweet about libertarians trying to into anarchism, and she took it like in a kind of like a different way. Like she responded to like I made some other point, like well, libertarians would need to stop being like racist and transphobic or whatever, because that's what they think anarchism is about or something. And I'm like, I would just like those libertarians, because I'm not throwing all libertarians into that. I'm like, those libertarians just need to admit they're like alt-right. Like if they like fucking hate blacks and want them locked up, that's not libertarian, right? Or if they want to actually throw gays in a concentration camp. Not really libertarian. That would be off right, authoritarian right. Okay, very simple, and it's because she'd phrased it as all libertarians are like that, which was actually funny now that I think about it. If anarchism was about, if they thought it was about being racist and transphobic, all libertarians would be anarchists already. And
we're already there.
Wait a minute. Hey, yo, pause.
We
Wait a
did
minute.
it. We did it.
Hey, yo, pause real quick.
Yo, pause. Yo, wait.
You've heard the phrase "bottom unity" before? You ever? I know you have.
Not in that context.
At the weekly otter meeting.
Yeah, no, bottom unity is where all anarchists, the anarcho-communists, the anarcho-mutualists, and the anarcho-capitalists form an alliance to fight the state, right? Not directly, not like a Minecraft. Well, it may be in Minecraft, I should say. Like, get together.
In our Minecraft RP server, yeah.
Yeah, Minecraft RP server. Well, that's the thing, is because we're right now. How it is we're all anarchists are making fun of the left and right. Like, these guys are stupid. They're doing the same shit on different sides. Like, there's different flavors, right? They're not exactly the same, but when it comes to like increasing state power, treading on your rights, they're pretty much in unison a lot of the time. It's all a political show. We all anarchists should know that, agree to it, right? So where we should combative? What?
Combative.
Yeah, so like that's the thing. Like all the Democrats, Republicans are going at each other, like for show, but for more power. Now, where bottom unity comes into play is that we're doing essentially the same shit, like infighting, right? Like, we're like, our anarchy's the best. I'm pretty sure I talked about this before. Like, our anarchy's the best. Your anarchy sucks. Like, it go ahead and work. It needs government. Blah, blah, whatever. It doesn't matter because we're never gonna see it. So what we need to do is stop fighting and work together in some degree. I'm not saying BFFs, right? Like, you don't have to be like buddy with these people if you don't want to, but just stop. Stop the arguing and try to do like something useful to move forward, right?
So like when the Black Panthers and those fucking crackers were sitting together, vibing out, hating the government together, that type beat.
Right.
Exactly.
Hitting the John together.
Because we'll never. I mean, my current estimate of an anarchist society coming to be is about 1,000 years. But how I'm seeing people
a 1,000-year anarchy.
Yeah, 1,000 years till anarchy until in 5 years after that. So 1,000 years of anarchy and 1,005 years until another government goes and takes over that anarchist society.
We'll get 5 years.
We'll get 5 years. 5 years is good enough. When the robo-homo scum of the next government kills everybody with their homosexual robots, except for me, I will prevail because I'll also be part robot at that point. Not because of choice, because I lose my leg in the
Great Twink Otter War.
The Great Twink Otter Chinese American Sino-Japanese Korean
Hyper
War. Hyper War. In which I lose my leg to a Chinese landmine, and I start having to get robotics.
You know what, Ben? I didn't even ask you. What do you think about the whole bottom unity idea?
So I think it's a good idea, but I just don't.
Ben cannot be the ambassador.
Don't say
Ben
but
can't be the
too
ambassador.
much to him.
But I don't see. I'm trying to think of some like maybe one thing everybody could work on to kind of have some sort of cohesiveness. And I can't hating the government. Okay, yes. But even then, you're still going to have issues. It's like, oh yeah, I hate the government because they don't tax people because we need to fund all this stuff. And it's like, but you're an anarchist.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I would not call any ANCOM that wants taxation. I would not say they're an anarchist.
Well, this is the problem, because then you wind up into this whole debate where instead of actually debating anything useful, you're just debating terms. What is anarchy? What is capitalism? What is socialism? And you just have this endless round of what is kissing. You have this endless round of like just arguing over what somebody is or isn't, and what terms mean and what terms what don't mean, which is like
yeah.
Because, like, again, this is something we've talked about. Sorry, I'll let you get to it. It's like
no. Yeah, keep going. Sorry.
It's something we've talked about in the past when it comes to like personal private property and private property, where it's like, oh, like if I own a house, that's not my property, but my toothbrush is my property, even though I paid for them both and like I use them every day. And it's like, well, a house isn't private. It's not personal property because and then you get into all this other shit, and it's just like, listen, if you can't accept the fact that like this is my house that I paid for and I'm gonna defend it with force, and if you can't deal with that, then there's absolutely nothing we're gonna be able to work on. Like, if you cannot accept the fact that people can own property and things and they can own it privately, and private ownership does not require a government, like, until that hurdle gets breached, we're not going to go anywhere. And like, I'm not saying and that means we have to argue and we have to fight, but it's a big hurdle and there's a fundamental disconnect because like, if we're both literally carrying the same bag and the bag literally just says like 1 unit of anarchy and we're both carrying this bag over there and over there is where we're trying to bring the fucking bag the entire fucking time. It's, oh, we should step right first. We should step left first. If we step left too many times, and well, we need to do some right footstep first, and like we need to switch hands, and like the entire time we're just arguing on how to fucking carry the bag, and it's a giant pain in the ass because it's like, fuck it, we'll just carry the fucking bag ourselves. Bag's fucking heavy. This analogy, I don't really have a point to this, so I'm just gonna keep going, and hopefully this will segue into something else. But
yeah, well,
do you kind of get what I mean? Like, it's like
I know I get what you mean. Well, that's why we need to shift the point of debate, right? Like, because the current debate is, as you said, definitions, right? Like, where people, that's where everyone gets caught up in. That's what the big conversation is. Like, what is capitalism really, or what is communism really, and all that. You get so intertwined with like the personal and private property, all that shit. Shift the conversation because none of that matters because it will only matter in an anarchist society, right?
Exactly.
So that don't even focus on that. Focus on what we can do today to limit the government, the power of the government, right? What can you do local, right? And like, but people like it's simple. Like when you got caught up on the taxes comment, right? There's no debate with that. That's a flat out. If you think stealing people's wages is cool to pay for other things, you want to steal that. Where's your theory of like your labor theory of value, right? Or whatever the fuck it is. That goes that's in direct conflict. You can't even argue it's not. Exactly. So if you say you want to tax and you're like you say you're an anarcho-communist, for example, you want people to be taxed, you're not an anarchist. You're certainly a state communist, and that's that simple. And then that's done. If they want to continue arguing that point, just back out. There's no. It's futile.
No, exactly
to do that. So what you want to do is what you want to do locally, because really on the federal level, there's not much you can do. You could do much more local. So organize with your local anarchists, if there's even more libertarians, if that, and try to get more people around you with similar ideas. And actually, they don't have to be, like in your town, city, or whatever. They don't even have to be full like on libertarians either. Just try to bait them in with some similar ideas. Yeah. But as far as the anarchist infighting stuff, it really just talk about something useful and stop talking about a society you will never see.
No, I totally agree. But the problem is like there's still like this. It's hard to let it just lie, because at least from my perspective, like I'm totally like, again, listen. All right, we just need to carry the bag. We just need to do this one thing, just because like it's a little step that we can do something locally. And like, even when you try to do that, like you can try really hard, you're still going to have those little hiccups there and there where you just have a fundamental disconnect when it comes to ideology. And like, sure, 1,000 years from now, like we can have a debate over like private versus personal property and all that stuff. But like, the problem is like that all influences everything that's happening right now. So like you can have a group of people and it's like, okay, well, we want to do something to limit the scope of government and to like protect people's rights. And you have very honest people who truly believe that they are anarchists, who truly believe that they are anti-government and anti-establishment. And I guarantee you one of the first things out of their mouth will be like, oh, how about we'll advocate for rent control or something like that. And it's just like, well, no, like this is the problem. Like yes, okay, you could make the argument that thanks to the government, landlords are able to charge whatever the fuck they want and like all this shit. Like, okay, fine. You're still like this magical council of the right people who's going to come together and form a little council, and they'll discuss the problem, and they'll all vote on a solution, and then like rent will go down. And it's just like, well, that requires authority, and that requires some form of government to enforce. So again, we find ourselves back to this thing where like you have two groups of people who are moving forward in a direction that they both honestly think is towards the vector of anarchy. And honestly, we can have the same comments made about us. Like, oh, these idiots, they think free trade and like working for a salary is anarchy. That's hierarchy. And there can be no hierarchy in anarchy, which is another issue we're going to have. And like, again, you're totally right.
No course of anarchy. Yeah.
In the core, yes. But again, these are all issues that keep coming up. And like you said, yes, ideally they shouldn't prevent you from like working towards a common goal, but they do. And like sooner or later, we need to find a way to like come up with some sort of game plan, that allows us to both like work together and move forward and actually get something done, stop the infighting, and promote some form of bottom unity. And there also needs to be a very simple, like, I don't know if you want to call it like a logical exercise or something, where you can pull that shit out and it's like, listen, you're either in this box or you're not. And if you're not in this box, you need to get in this box before we'll work with you. And again, even that is not the best analogy for like really what we need, because again, in the box sounds very constricting, cohesive, like you have to be in this little box of thought or fuck you. And you don't necessarily. But what I mean is like there are certain core tenets involving voluntarism, involving coercion and all of this that need to be addressed. And like if they don't get addressed, there's never going to be unity. And like at best, it's going to be a facade.
Well, yeah, that's my thing. I'm not saying it's going to be like something in tomorrow, next week, or within the next year we could form towards that. But it's like we gotta start somewhere.
No, you're right.
We gotta start like reaching a hand out somewhere here or there. Because I mean, I talked to ANCOMs, and we're in agreement a lot. Like, you know, for the most part, if you really talk to like not the most vocal ANCOMs, I've noticed the more vocal ANCOMs are the ones that are like batshit, like absolutely fucking crazy. Like they're like, no, you can't. Like the ones that said that like you can't have guns, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna take your guns and kill you, and then we're gonna get rid of all the guns. Like, yeah,
except for the one guy who's really smart.
Yeah, right. Like we talk about that, but like no, like the less folk like on Tumblr, like those like anarcho-communists that aren't as vocal, have a conversation with them, man. Like they're like cool. It's like, no, I just don't like this. Like it's it's bad that renting or whatever, like, rent is theft or whatever. Like, okay, yeah, it's fine, whatever, fine. Mm-hmm. I get that. But like, you understand the reason why, like, renting, because of government regulation, right? It makes it expensive to buy a house, right? It's super expensive for like everything and getting in that. But like, you got to reach a hand out somewhere. Like, not all ANCOMs that I've spoken to are batshit crazy. They're actually fairly reasonable to certain degrees. Obviously, we're not going to agree on the capitalism is like better in our opinion. Like our opinion, I believe like anarcho-capitalism is better. I've said that before, but we're not going to agree on that, and that's fine for me because it doesn't matter. But at least let's talk about stuff we do agree on and work from there. Try to do something, because if we're not trying, might as well just start being a Republican and Democrat again, and start to commit your own war crimes for the state, right? Like that's my opinion on it. I'm sure people will disagree when they listen to this. But I don't care, because I'm right, in a sense.
Everything we say is right, and our Schmied is huge.
I thought it was going to be like a fun episode.
Yeah, what was fun is that when Ben was talking about the box, he did a circle with his hand as a big circle. I'm like, that's the size of the hole of that bussy that Yimmer destroyed last night.
Hey,
it wasn't that big before, but it was that big after. Maybe yeah. So Yimmer is the girth. Yeah, actually that's Ben's girth. That was like a.
This is.
You guys kept saying the box, and I keep thinking about that song where it starts with by Roddy Ricch, called "The Box."
Of all the songs about. No. I swear you're gonna go to Alice in Chains with that, but you want to hold.
No. There's a song called "The Box" by Roddy Ricch, and he actually says like "fuck 12, fuck SWAT," which is slightly more powerful than the usual rapper saying like "fuck the police" by upgrading himself to the SWAT.
Being specific, yeah, fuck SWAT specifically.
Yeah, no, he does. If I play this song, I feel like might get copyright strike. Let me find it.
Fuck Sergeant McGigan's fucking entry level motherfucker.
Yeah, well, let's find the start to the song and then
yeah.
We're at 30 minutes. We'll cut it because you are messed up. I like how even if like. Oh, I know that song. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I do know that song. I didn't know the name of it.
That was like 5 seconds, so we're safe from YouTube.
Yimra, you listen to Vince Staples at all?
No.
Go listen to Vince Staples. The song's "Hands Up." He straight up he names a bunch of departments. He's like LAPD, LVPD, RNPD, Reno PD, like
LGBT,
all that shit. Was just talking about spraying them with bullets. So,
based and red pilled.
Yeah, Vince Staples is pretty based. I would not say red pilled, but based.
Certainly based. He's red pilled in that regard, at least.
My favorite, yeah. On the statement of rap, someone I work with describes rap songs as kill whitey songs, which is very funny because I can't think of a single rap song that specifically was talking about killing white people. If there is one, please let me know. If it's good, please let me know. I don't want to hear trash rap with bad bars. But I can't sing.
The only thing I can think of is like specific parts of a song that like I can think of like Biggie Smalls.
That's okay. Biggie Smalls is based.
But it's one part. It's literally goes for all the something, the jealous ass crackers, and then like it plays like a police siren, and it's like, I'll make you prove that it's bulletproof. And it's like that's all I can think of.
Yes. Perfect.
Biggie Smalls is based as fuck.
Yeah, you go take a nap, dude.
Like, yeah. No, I'm gonna eat my cinnamon roll, bro. I'm not tired. I'm just fucking. I had a good nap.
Yimra, I wish I could join you and hit the vape a little bit. I gotta work in an hour, so I can't get fucked up.
Look at this guy. Look at this dude.
Got with the job.
Gotta work today. This is my day off. And this month is tomorrow. It's gonna suck. People are gonna come in asking for an SU.
Going to sell diamonds to rich people. Fucking Jew.
Fucking wage cuck.
Oh my god. Wagey, getting cagey.
Yeah, wagey.
I'm more of a commission cuck at this point, bro.
The commission cuck, yeah.
That's what we could end on. So we could like the cage. Did you hear that some you remember like a couple months ago that the cock cage that got hacked or whatever?
Oh, poor typhus.
It was a fake story that some Australian comedian made up. Like he had a fake name. And he made it up and recorded it because he's like, I know Vice will report on this, and they fucking did. He made it up, and he was laughing because he's like, the company released a statement because he's like, yeah, it got hacked and whatever. He's like, I had to take a bolt cutter and it kind of like cut the top of my dick when I got it off. He's like, and shit like that, and the company responded to the Vice article not too long after. It's like, yeah, we looked at it, we fixed the security issue and it's 100% unhackable again. And the comedian was like, I don't know what they fixed because my story was made up.
They found something, I guess.
Yeah, he's like, I'm wondering what they actually did fix, what vulnerability that was in the system, or if it
vulnerability,
was
bro. Your dick's in a cage. You're always vulnerable.
Yeah,
You're focusing on the wrong vulnerability, bro.
Oh my god, amazing!
Shout out to my boy Typhus.
Shout out, true king shit. All
right,
well, I guess with that we're going to call it.
Shout.
So you guys have a good day, and we'll catch you.
Let it all out.
Later, guys.